Hello one and all, and welcome to another episode of my alphabet of hair. Today we are looking at the letter H, and H today stands for highlighting. I've brought in my special guest again, Shari Reynolds, the amazing colourist, who's going to help break down what highlighting is, where it is at the moment in terms of colour, because there's so many other techniques around now, and I wanted to go back to highlighting is such a traditional technique of colouring hair, and I wanted to look into it and see what it actually is, help break that down for you, and where it is right now in the sort of currency of colour, and what it actually means to get your hair highlighted right now, and what's fashionable. So let's go meet Shari. Hi everyone, so I'm back here with my gorgeous friend Shari Reynolds, the amazing hair colourist. For those of you who've been following the alphabet of hair, Shari's already in a few of my episodes. Letter B, we talked about balayage. Today we're talking about highlighting. And just a quick intro to Shari again. She's worked with many people over the years, working on different celebrities' hair, and she has a wealth of experience. So today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about highlighting. And I know, Shari, highlighting is a very sort of an old hair colouring technique to create lightness and darkness and different tones in the hair. But at the moment, when we mentioned this when we talked about balayage, there's now so many different techniques of colour, because colour has become such a big thing now, and there's so many different techniques to create different effects. What I wanted to talk about really today is there's so many different techniques now that have come about, that we're being bombarded with in terms of what you read about and stuff like that. But where are highlights right now within the sort of genre of colour, and in terms of, you know, salons and things like that? Are they still popular? Is there different things going on with highlighting that is sort of helping to keep it? I guess it's like, what's keeping highlighting updated?
Okay, so there's a few things really, but what right this second as we speak,
This moment in time
right now, highlighting is actually making a comeback.
Ooh.
Which is great news, because highlighting is like having a Burberry Mac in your closet. Sometimes it's really in, and sometimes it's not in fashion, but it's not out of fashion.
But it's a staple item that you need.
Exactly now. And then after so much balayage and, you know, even dare I say bad balayage treatments with, you know, really broken down ends, this whole new idea of bringing colour back into the root area is quite new for the moment in time that we're in now, and it's been seen quite a lot, and it's gaining popularity and it's gaining traction, and that is bringing almost traditional classic highlighting back in. And then within that, what we do is we maybe mix the types of foils in there by using micro foils, which is super fine. It can barely be seen. So
basically tiniest pieces of hair.
The tiniest pieces, especially on hairlines and places like that, and on the parting. So that really is the newest thing. That can also be worked in with a spot of balayage through the ends. So you've got a crossover from highlighting into balayage. But really what's happening right now, the most chic thing that's happening right this second, is traditional highlighting. It's come full circle, and it's the new.
You heard it here first, guys. What would you consider bad highlights?
Okay, so I think my typical sense of what a bad highlight would be is where you leave a client with a regrowth that's unmanageable and looks like it's growing out straight away. So that could be that the colour hasn't been used finely enough at the roots. It could also be a colour that they've put too much colour on close to the scalp area, and then as the packets have built up on top of each other, the colours oozed out and created like a tiger stripe. That's really a no-no, absolutely a no-no.
So like colour bleed, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so we've established that now. So in terms of, one of the things I wanted to ask you, Shari, is as people get older, their hair starts to go grey, as I'm experiencing. And when you reach a point, I know it's funny because grey hair for man and a woman is seen very different. It's, for some reason, in men it's sort of seen as distinguishing, but in women it seems to be aging.
I hate you. I hate him right now, because, but it is true. I have to say,
I actually hate that as a statement in a way, because I don't believe that, because I think grey hair can be amazing on women as well. But in terms of highlighting, I know it's a technique that's used a lot to help disguise grey hair, isn't it, as it starts to come through. And so what would be your recommendations for that?
Right, well, The clever thing about highlighting as opposed to balayage, or it can still be done with balayage, but the clever thing about highlighting is if you're having, say, around your hairline, quite fine highlighting, you can have several different colours worked in, so it looks very natural. And then in between the packets, we can just hand paint a little lick of the natural coloured tint so that everything looks really seamless, and you really can't decipher exactly what's going on there.
So it's almost like a mixture of highlighting and balayage together kind of thing, would you say?
Kind of, exactly. Everything gets blurred and it tricks the eye so that you don't really know what's going on there. The colourist knows.
What's that famous statement you said?
It's not what you see, it's what you think you see that counts. Don't we love that?
We love
High five.
that. What would be your ultimate result as a colourist for a client?
Beautiful, pristine condition, premium condition, and beautiful shine. That's what we're talking about. Beautiful shine, and with multifaceted colours running through the hair. Really, the shades are really. It's the combination of shades that are chosen, but I think to keep it very, very safe and simple, a couple of shades lighter, never really too red. Keep it within the neutral spectrum, so within your within the temperature of your own natural colouring. So you're looking at the eyes, the complexion.
I don't know what you think. I always think with highlighting, 'cause for some people that don't know, I was a colourist for a couple of years.
Yeah, I remember.
Many moons ago. I always, for me, the trick with highlighting was that when it grew out, which it always does, like you said earlier, is that you don't get this really obvious regrowth. And I remember when I was highlighting back in the day, we're talking like 20 odd years ago, that I would always keep the highlights a bit finer at the roots.
Absolutely.
So that the regrowth was a lot less obvious. And there wouldn't be such a line. And I think that's a bit of a trick that it's good to talk to your colourist about, to ask them if they can actually make sure that the roots are never too obvious when it grows out. Because,
Definitely.
there are times when you can't just get every 6 weeks, isn't it?
Yes, and that's extreme.
Not always
That's quite
possible.
extreme.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. Thanks, Shari.
My pleasure.
Hopefully that's covered highlighting for you, and also giving you a bit of an insight into where highlighting is right now, so you know what you can ask for. See you later.
See you later.
If you like this video and want to see more, then you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is here. And you can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter, and also Instagram TV.